So this is my jump progress video. So I did a similar video to this last year and it did really well. So it was just kind of my vertical jump progress that I uploaded last year. I did it over like the course of just over a year, and I looked at my jump mat kind of measurements and kind of compared those and just kind of like talked about the things that I think really helped me progress the most. So I'm just going to kind of do a similar thing with this video, but just off my approach vertical on a vertec. So the first video you saw there was my first time ever testing on a vertec off 3 steps. So the majority of this video is just going to be off 3 steps because that's kind of just a way that I've jumped a lot in the past, because it's usually quite an easy way for me to jump high. And then usually during the winter as well, I'll do 3 steps because I don't like to take too much speed into the jumps during the winter, especially if I'm jumping outdoors, which in the majority of these videos that's what I'm doing. First jump, 2018, did that after a strength cycle and I jumped I think about 2 to 3 inches higher. I've not got any videos of what I tested before because I didn't test 3 steps on the vertec before that, but I'm gonna kind of guess that it was about 910 to 911 that I would have been touching off 3 steps before that point. So then the next clip we have is in December of 2019. So there's a big year gap in between that because I was injured for like 70% of the video, or not video, 70% of the year. So basically, I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I got knee pain, wasn't able to jump for 60 to 70% of the year. Yeah, so then there was a big kind of stunt in progress and I had to go into a whole rehab process with jumper's knee, and that kind of just killed my progress because I wasn't jumping at all for basically, I think about 4 months maybe, not quite sure, but December of 2019, tested 10'1", so it was the same as what I did last year, and I'd obviously lost out maybe a few inches of progress just because I was injured basically for the whole of that year. So then in January of 2020, I went back to test my vertical again. So I booked this court indoors that was like local to me, and I tested my vertical and tested 10'2". So I was super happy with that because obviously before I was injured, and it just meant a lot to kind of see that progress, especially after I'd like rehabbed myself to heal my own knees. That was kind of a really special PR for me. So fast forward now to December of 2020, I was jumping pretty bad, so I'm going to kind of talk about why I was jumping bad. So just the weather, like it was -2 on the day I think with like a wind chill, so I think the wind chill made it like -5 or -6, which was like not good fun to jump in like at all. In fact, I probably shouldn't have even really been jumping in that weather because I maybe could have pulled a muscle. But I think that, coupled with the fact that I did have a hamstring injury back in November and then had to kind of like rehab that, and I wasn't able to like jump or sprint for like 3 weeks straight, 3 or 4 weeks maybe. So that was like 5 weeks post hamstring injury. So probably impacted on it a little bit, I'd say, but not quite sure. So then going on to January, I ended up testing 10'2", so I matched my PR from the previous year, but I was outdoors, I wasn't indoors. It was super cold and it was frosty, and my hamstring did start to feel a little sore on the jump where I attempted to touch 10'3". My hamstring was a little sore after that, so I just kind of cut it short after that. So that's like a big thing that I've learned is don't kind of push, like listen to your body, because it's just not really worth it to go and push it to then have to kind of rehab yourself for like 4 weeks, 5, 6 weeks, whatever. Like it's just not fun to have to do that and like lose out on progress. So I decided to cut that session short and ended just with 10'2". So then fast forward to February, I think it was February the 22nd, not quite sure. But it was raining the day before, so I was supposed to test on the Friday. I ended up testing on the Saturday because it was raining. I hoped on the Saturday it would maybe be dry, but in my previous video that I did where I kind of showed you the whole session of me testing my vert, I kind of said that I went into it not really expecting anything, thinking I'd maybe touch 10 foot. Then I came away with a nice 3-inch PR, which was like totally unexpected because it was like raining on the day. It just wasn't like the ideal day for testing, but came away with a big PR and I was super happy with that. So I guess like the main things to take away from this video is like listen to your body. So if you have any kind of like niggles during a session, whether it be like sprints or jumping or even maybe in the weight room, like if you have anything that you feel could turn into an injury, cut it short. Something that I've been pretty good at recently because I've managed to kind of stay injury free since November, so hopefully, touch wood, I can stay that way, but listening to your body is a major key. So then if you do end up getting injured, another point, this is the second point, another thing is to make sure that you kind of follow the rehab process strictly and you don't come back too soon, because coming back too soon can like just re-injure yourself again, and then you get in like a bad cycle of just constantly being kind of like injured and trying to come back, and you lose even more kind of time that you could be progressing. So that's kind of the second point. So then the third and final point is to make sure that when you are training, you're being consistent. So whether it's the weight room, whether it's dunking, whether it's sprinting, like whatever training modality it is that you're doing, make sure you're consistent. Like, it's okay to miss one workout every now and then, right? But the problem with missing that one workout every now and then is, for some people, it can kind of have a really big kind of adverse effect on them, because they miss one workout and they think, oh, you know, it's all right to miss another one, you know, like, and then another one, and then another one, and it ends up that they kind of like don't see progress because they've been missing out so many workouts. So if you've got something planned, make sure that you complete it and try and complete it to the best of your ability. So those are my three kind of main tips, three things I think have really helped me over the past, I guess, like 4 years, coming up on 5 years of training, which is just mental. But yeah, that's about it for the video. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's a little bit of a long one where I'm just kind of talking, but hopefully you enjoyed the clips and seeing the progress. And yeah, that's really about it. So thank you for watching the video.